In this section, I'd like to talk about optimizing drives on a Windows 11 PC. Off the Start menu, I'll type in Optimize, and one of the options I'm given is Defragment and Optimize drives. I'll click on that. And I'm given an interface that has found the hard drives on my computer, is giving me a basic status on them, and also has the option to optimize them. In previous versions of Windows, there was a similar utility that would defragment hard drives. And for an old school hard drive with spinning platters, defragment makes sense. But for a newer solid state drive with no moving parts, there's a different process to increase efficiency. And then for a virtual drive, which is what I have, there's yet again a different process to increase efficiency. This utility inside of Windows 11 understands the differences between the different types of drives, so you just have to click Optimize and it will choose the appropriate method for whatever type of hardware you're running. So I'll click Optimize and I get a percentage, and if it's a small hard drive, it'll go pretty quickly. If it's a large hard drive, it could take significantly longer, and then it goes back to this interface. The bottom half of the interface talks about scheduled optimization, and this is something that's turned on by default in Windows 11. I haven't changed this setting since I installed Windows 11. So by default, I am optimizing drives weekly. This will happen in the background as long as your computer is turned on. You can change that by clicking on the button for Change Settings. There's a checkbox where you could completely turn off this automatic optimization, or if you turn it on, you have three options, either daily, weekly, or monthly. Weekly is the default, and it's also what I use on almost all of my Windows 11 PCs. I just go with the default schedule of optimize automatically weekly. In this section, we're going to talk about backups in Windows 11. So off the Start menu, I'll type in Backups. And I'll get an option for Backup and Sync Your Settings. I'll click on that. And it'll take me into the Settings interface called Windows Backup. And we'll see from the top option that this backup is heavily tied to Microsoft OneDrive. So my Windows 11 PC and my OneDrive account are syncing. And if I click to the right here, I can manage the sync settings and see that my desktop is syncing, my documents are syncing, and my pictures are syncing. So all three of those folders are being uploaded to the cloud. And if I log into a different Windows 11 PC using the same account I'm using now, those files would be pulled down from the cloud to give me a consistent experience and also to serve as a backup. So I'll click Got It. Then we also have two options under that, one for Remember My Apps, which I can turn on or turn off. Remember, the top option is only for backing up files. This next option is for backing up apps. And then below that, we have Remember My Preferences, which again can be turned on or turned off. And if we click on the little arrow to the right of the slider, we see options for three different groups of things we can choose to remember: passwords, language preferences, and other Windows settings. So any of those can be turned on or turned off individually. So by default, all of these will be turned on, and usually I leave all three of them turned on. This means that my files, my applications, and my preferences are all being uploaded to my Microsoft OneDrive account. Now, how can I verify that? Well, it's pretty simple. One thing you can do is just create a new file on your desktop. So I'll right-click, go to New File, and create a new text document. Let me go ahead and double-click on that and add a little bit of text into the file. And I'll close it and save it. That should be uploaded to the cloud. I'll go ahead and open up a web browser and go to OneDrive.com, which will redirect me to OneDrive.live.com. And you may be prompted to log into your account. I was already logged in on this computer, so it automatically logged me in. It shows the files that it's synchronizing as I scroll down, including desktop. I'll click on desktop. I see there is a file called new text document. And if I click on that, I will see the exact text I typed in earlier. So this is confirmation that the files on my Windows 11 PC are being uploaded to the cloud. If I ever log into a different Windows 11 PC with the same account, all of those files will be downloaded to the new machine. So all of that is working great, and I am just going to delete this file because I don't need it anymore. Now let's talk about the option to reset your PC in Windows 11. So off the Start menu, I'll type in Reset, and there's an option for Reset this PC in System Settings. It takes me to an interface in Settings that has one button marked Reset PC, so I'll click on that. And I'm given two options. The first option is to keep my files, which will remove all of my apps and settings, but keep my personal files. And then the other option is to remove everything. So it will remove apps, settings, and files. So basically, my meaningful choice here is whether or not I want to remove my files. But either way, it's going to remove all apps and all settings. This is a very aggressive thing to do and probably would only be done as a last resort. If all other troubleshooting methods fail, you could try the Reset My PC option. But again, it is a very aggressive thing to do. So, because my PC is running fine, I am not going to reset it. I am going to click Cancel, and I suggest that you do the same. In this section, I'd like to give you some tips on performing backups in Windows 11, or really performing backups on any system. So some things you want to think about when backing up, first of all, is the frequency. How often do you want to run the backups? That could be daily, weekly, monthly. It really depends on how often the data changes. If you have a bunch of data that only changes once a month, then you probably only need to back it up once a month. You need to consider the storage location. The location in which you store your backups is important, certainly for security and durability. And you also want to make sure it's a place that's easy to get to in the event of an emergency. And like I said, consider security. Your backups will basically be a complete copy of all of your data, so that needs to be secured. Backups can be encrypted, and they should also be stored in a location that is physically secure. When it comes to backups and restores, you want to test these items often. A lot of people think about testing their backups, but they don't necessarily think about testing the restore. And testing the restore process is important for a few reasons. One is that your media is fragile, particularly if you're writing to CDs or DVDs. Those items can get scratched or damaged in other ways. So you'll need to test them occasionally to make sure they are still in good physical condition. Doing a restore takes some skill. It's really not super complicated or super difficult, but when you're in an emergency situation and trying to get a restore done as quickly as possible, you don't want to have to be learning the process at that time also. So if you've gone through it a few times in practice, you'll probably be able to do it better when you actually need to do it. And of course, restores take time. So often I see situations where all of the data is backed up, the data is good, and it can be restored, and it is eventually restored, but people are very surprised that that process takes many hours or maybe even many days to do the full restore. So if you do some practice restores, you can, first of all, have the knowledge of how long it's going to take to do the restore, and then you can communicate that information to stakeholders, let them know ahead of time, hey, if we ever have to do a restore, it's going to take 24 hours or whatever.